out your mouth and don't understand what you're saying. Is there an ugly side to Islam? No doubt. No doubt there's an ugly side to Islam. But for the most part, it's because we don't listen to our own scholars. That's part of the reason. And we listen to these foreign interpreters of what Islam is, and then we run off of that, or the people run off of that. But I'm going to digress off that, because my point is this. Your ancestors was Muslim. And see, when people say that to you, to the Afrocentric community, oh, no, they wasn't, no, they wasn't. Yes, they was, motherfucker. They was Muslim, they accepted Islam, motherfucker. The proof is in the pudding. You can't go back nowhere to fucking Africa and show me a real black atheism fucking monument, or real black atheism fucking manuscript. You can't show me that shit. But we can go back and see some old mosques, old Qurans, old manuscripts. We can see that.
How back do they date? From the 16th century. From generation to generation until him.
So he is the keeper of the manuscripts.
Exactly, nowadays he's the one.
Yes. They tell me that for centuries, manuscripts like these were some of Africa's best kept secrets. Some of them date back nearly 1,000 years and originated as far away as Damascus or even Baghdad. And there are dozens of family collections like this one.
And
would it be possible for him to show us one of the books? It's a beautiful binding.
they seem to be burned, but they are not. And what is incredible is that they are preserved without any binding and without any numbering of the pages. So all the families had a tradition of conserving it very well.
And so there must be hundreds, if not thousands, of manuscripts.
Yes, he has. كم من الخطوطات عندك? 9,000 manuscripts.
We can see the glory of blacks not only in West Africa in Islam, but all over the continent and all over the world. Go to Spain today. The Mosque of Cordoba still stands, and all this beauty and splendor that was built by your ancestors. Okay? So we always want to go back to Egypt, which all motherfuckers really is not no fucking Egyptian, because you don't even come from that part of Africa. That's a whole nother story and shit. But you don't really want to go back to where you really come from and what they really was doing. They was Muslim. And it was all different types of Islam that they practiced, which will soon come out with all these manuscripts that's currently about to be translated, and it's going to be sent out throughout the whole world. So you will see all the heavy sciences that your ancestors was dealing with in West Africa. So that's all for this slide presentation.
About a secret place that might help me learn more about it. Driven about an hour and a half outside Bamako and turned off the road at a marker that I've been told not to disclose. Boubacar has traveled ahead to ask permission for me to visit this very special place. Evidently, he has a sight to show me that will shed some light on the story of Kankamusa. His directions lead me deep into the forest, along a narrow, overgrown path. The place I'm heading to is a little-known ruin called Fanfan. Boubacar has told me that it's very sacred and an important piece of the Malian Empire's history. Boubacar, yes. Hunter. Welcome to Fanfan. What is Fanfan?
Well, Fanfan is a place where they used to bring the princes, to hide them, and to educate them.
So Kankamusa himself may have spent time here.
Who knows? Maybe he might have been in this room. Who knows?
Right in here.
Yes.
Boubacar says that from the 13th century onwards, all the kings of the Malian Empire were trained here, including Kankamusa. It's my first concrete link to the man himself. So this was a fort in a sense.
Oh yes, it's a fortress, you see? Look at this wall here. This is the vestiges of, that archaeological structure. And then you had, layers of walls protecting this sanctuary.
So has there been any archaeology done here then?
Well, it's not in our culture really to dig out our past. The way we dig our history is different from the way dig sites, archaeologically speaking, you write documents, you write history down.
Right.
Here we don't do that. This won't tell you anything more than what I just said. But then if you want,
I've run into another...
You claim to be a historian and always scream this archaeology and all this type of shit. And if you can see from the video, like what the brother said, Africans don't do that. You see, we pass shit on through oral tradition. And like when the white boy wanted to dig up in the ground, he's like, no, we don't do that here. You know what I mean? We just told you what happened. You digging up stuff ain't gonna prove nothing more than what we told you.
So has there been any archaeology done here then?
well, you know, it's not in our culture really to dig out our past. The way we dig our history is different from the way we do it in the West. You know, you dig sites, archaeologically speaking, you write documents, you write history down.
Right.
Here we don't do that. This won't tell you anything more than what I just said.
So see, that's why archaeology is a European thing. Because for a people that got a long history that already been on the planet, I already know what happened. The history has already been told, you see? So that's a Western phenomenon because they trying to find out what the fuck happened. They trying to find out what happened. There are people that's going around the world digging out and searching out things. And you know, this is a part of the time. It's a part of the new world that we live in. But the invasion of Gog and Magog. And so, but what the African brother was telling them, no, you can't dig here. And if you see, when he wanted to know the history, he had to go sit his ass down and listen to the town historian. And like he said, that was just one conversation. He said you can listen to him for nights upon nights because all the history of the family had been passed through the griots. So that's the way we told the history of the people.
That's the family of the king of the griots. The king of the griots.
Lassana Kamisoko is one of the most renowned griots in Mali. His family goes back to the beginning of the Malian Empire, so the accumulated knowledge of centuries has been handed down to him. He's essentially a walking history book. Once the music starts, the words begin to flow. I don't even speak the language, and I'm engrossed in what he's saying. Absolutely beautiful. So what is the story he's telling us right now? Kamisoko tells us of the powerful Malian Empire that existed between 1235 and 1645 AD. At its height, it stretched from Senegal in the west to Niger in the east, covering an area larger than all of Western Europe. Only the Mongol Empire of Genghis Khan was larger at the time. It was also very sophisticated socially. Boubacar tells me that the empire had a constitution that was codified in 1235, just 20 years after the Magna Carta. It was transmitted orally via the griots and guaranteed human rights for all citizens. So in the West, we often think about the Magna Carta being the first human rights document, where it seems that the Malian Empire started it around the same time. It was a great empire.
Yes, around the same time, yeah, that's correct.
But that was an oral human rights document, so to speak, right?
So what I'm going to be doing within the next upcoming couple of months to further substantiate my point, I'm going to be speaking on, I'm going to go around, be on some different shows, talk about Islam, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, so we can really get a clear picture of what this so-called Islam really is. You know, what's the political, spiritual implications of this spiritual system that I'm claiming is a good solution for our people. I'm not saying it's the only solution. I'm saying it's one of the solutions. And it needs to be talked about because, like I said before, no matter what I think or anybody else, the youth is accepting Islam. So whether you like it or not, they accepting Islam. And that's who the future going to be. So personally, my job is to produce information and literature for those ones that's going to come after me that's going to do what need to be done. Because it's looking like our weak ass, punk ass generation don't really want to get together and do nothing. So I'm gonna try to write and produce stuff for the future. So like I said, you know, if whoever sees this video, you got a show, a blog talk show, or whatever, you want me to come on, you want me to talk about Islam, the good, bad, and the ugly among black people, we can do that. Set it up. You know, if you want to contact me, you contact me on Facebook, Kareem Muhammad, or you can email me at thenationofkareem@aol.com. You know, so you can check that out. You know, it is what it is. Peace. I think you just need to go ahead and dismantle the whole Amin-Ra thing you doing or whatever, and just go ahead and take your shahada. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and get it over with. Take your shahada. You know what I'm saying? You know, I only wear kufis. You want me to mail you a kufi or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Get him out of here.